the Apostle Paul said in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 2, that he was the father of Timothy in the faith. He called him his son in the Lord. Not as a natural birth, but as spiritual father in the gospel. As Paul was a father to the early church, so is Brother Marlow a spiritual father unto us, and that makes Sister Marlow a spiritual mother to us. Even as early as when Brother Rhodes and Brother Harrison, as well as others, were young men, unto even now, Sister Marlow has been a mother figure to the church. Not to the young men and women only, but to all of us in this church. With compassion, words of wisdom, and love, she has comforted the Bradenton congregation. This is what a mother does. So as loving children, brothers and sisters, we give you thanks and wish you a happy Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day, we all always reflect on, I think, on our natural mothers. And as most of you know, I'm the youngest of 14. And my father was 57 when I was born, and I was 11 when he passed away. And my mother and I were extremely close, as my husband stated. And it was very hard for her when I moved to Florida. My mother was always a very up person. Some of you knew her. She was always happy, and she felt everybody should be happy.
Yes.
And one day I called her and I said, "How are you, Mama?" She said, "Bad." "Bad?" "Yes." "Well, what's wrong?" "Well, how would you feel if you had a son that was a senior citizen?" I was thinking whenever I remember, of course, my mother died on her 105th birthday. And I said to some of the people, if there was ever a saint, my mother was a saint. She knew the Lord when she was a young woman. She fell in love with Jesus. And thereafter, she devoted her life to doing things for people. The scripture in Matthew said that I was hungry and you fed me, and I was sick and you visited me. My mother thoroughly and completely fulfilled that scripture. I remember when she was my age, and well, almost, I'm not quite as old as she was, and we had a big birthday party for her. Well, we did every year for her birthday. And it's kind of like family reunion when you have that many people in your family. To have 100 people together is like just a small portion of your family. But I remember thinking when my mother was my age and my sister was so concerned about her, and she said, you know, we really don't know how much longer we'll have Mother. And I looked at her as being an aged person. And now that I'm that age, I'm thinking, how could we do that to her? Because I don't feel old, and I'm sure she didn't either. But she was a wonderful, godly person. As I said, my father died when I was 11, and my parents were never blessed with an abundance of material things. I never needed or wanted for anything that I ever remember. But we were not millionaires. And after my father died, my mother and I moved into an apartment. And we had the apartment, and in the back of the apartment was this great big room. And my mom, we went to church one night. If someone didn't take us, we walked. We never had a car. My mother never learned to drive. I tried to teach her after I got a car, and I thought she'd kill us both, so scratch that. But when I was young, we didn't have a car. And my mother we went to church this night, and there was a family there. The name is Brother and Sister Sprouse, whom my husband later met. And I can't think of her first name, Sister Sprouse first name. But anyway, she said her husband had lost his job, and they had no income, and they had one boy that was older than myself that was living with them, and they rented, so they were going to have to move. And my mom said, well, you know what? We have this great big room in the back of our apartment, and we'll move our stuff out, and you're more than welcome to live there. That's the kind of woman that she was. I credit my Christian walk with the Lord very much to my mother. We as mothers today have a great influence on our children, and how important it is that we teach them godly Christian values for their lives. In the book of Revelations, in the 19th chapter, it said the bride has made herself ready. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they're not in the church here, but I was talking to them. They don't live here. And they were saying, I'm seeking the will of the Lord for my life. And I said, that's the most important thing you can seek, is the will of the Lord. And when you find it, you have an ability. We all have abilities. When you find that, you get in wherever it is that the Lord wants you, and you work hard for Him, because He's a good paymaster. Amen. And I'm so thankful to the Lord. I'm thankful the Lord brought us here. When my husband was in the military, there was a little log cabin I think he mentioned it not too long ago, not in my hometown, and so I saw this little log cabin. It was like a starter, It had a nice fireplace. And I said to my brother, I'm going to buy this house. And he said, you're going to buy this house? I said, uh-huh. He always called me Ping. Now, Ping, if you want a house, buy a house. Don't buy that log cabin. Had I bought that log cabin, we would never have come here. We would have settled there, and that's where we would have been. But I'm thankful that the Lord directs our life, and He directs our path. As I said in church last Sunday night, the most important thing in your life is that you please Him, that you do the things that are pleasing to Him. And I could ramble on and on and on, but I won't. And I want to say that I love each of you very much. You're wonderful. I'm not a perfect woman, but I want you to know that I'm here for any of you, anytime I'm here. And that's what a mother is. She's always there for her children, and that's the way I feel about you. Thank you. The Lord bless you.
Well, it's been a wonderful day, and we've enjoyed each other's company and the Lord's refreshing, and we've enjoyed the company that's come in to be with us, and I'm looking forward to the 6 o'clock service and what God will do for us tonight. And but I never like to let the church go, and there's a dinner in the dining room for everybody. Oh, everybody stay. They must have a wonderful meal that day. I didn't know that the day that day must be a wonderful meal, and I'm going in and enjoy it. I hope all of you will. They can, possibly can. I want you to sing a verse of this. We'll just sing a verse. Sister Teresa, you come to the piano, right? I heard an old story how a Savior came from the earth. I was going to dismiss you without this, but the Lord touched my spirit and said there's someone here that they'd really like to change their life.